All right, what is up, everybody? This is Mortonakis, and today we are gonna be doing something a little bit cool. So, we're gonna be remixing time 2 because the mix on it is, how do I put this politely? Shit. More specifically, the drums are awful. Everything else is mostly fine, but the drums are awful, and there is really not that much I can do about it. So, the obvious thing then is, well, what can we do about it? Quick word about the setup for how I'm recording this, because I don't actually know exactly how to do this all neatly in software. So, I'm talking into a microphone here that's going into my interface, which is what I'm also using to hear Reaper. I don't actually know how to get the audio out of Reaper. In software, I have a cable going from one of my headphone outputs, and that cable is going into an interface back there into my laptop, which is recording this. So, bit fucked. You're only going to hear a mono version of this mix, so you're not going to hear the stereo when I'm doing playback, but you will hear the stereo once I render this out. So, you already know what the original sounds like. If not, go listen to that. But let's take a look at what I've done so far. I'm going to quickly go over what I already have done here, what I did yesterday. And we can get right into it. So, for a start, there were, I basically had the buses of everything in the mix. So I had the vocals, the instrument, the orchestra stuff, the guitars, the other guitars, the bass, and the drums. And I didn't have to do very much to most of these. So, what we will find is that I've done very little of this. I've basically just low and high passed it to get rid of some of the shit you don't need. Now, this is for the clean thing. I've blended in a little bit more reverb because I like that, but other than that, not very much has actually changed. So if I remove that, then it kind of just muddies everything up. This gives it a lot more clarity, which doesn't sound as good soloed, but it sounds better in the mix. I think there's, yeah, it's just a compressor on there for level reasons. So, in terms of bass, if we listen to what that is doing, that's what the original bass track sounded like. And I just gave it a lot more of a nasty, grindy high end because I think that suits the bass track pretty well. Because if we now hear it with the guitar, if we hear it in conjunction with the guitars, it cuts through the mix a lot better. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, well, you know, bass should be felt and not heard. And to those people, I say,
fuck you, asshole.
And again, I haven't had to do very much to anything really other than the drums. The drums are a fucking nightmare. We'll get into that. So, the vocal bus mostly just has a little bit of compression, possibly some high passing. Yeah, no, so the vocal, that's just to tame the screams, that's just to cut the mud out, because you just don't fucking need anything below like 150 in there anyway. And this is just a delay track. Fire, the oldest one, the force in the beginning of time.
Show me your face and your fierce eyes. Reveal.
It just kind of gives it a bit more space in the mix. So everything here so far has basically been fine. With the one exception, and that is the drums. First of all, I want you to take a look at this. What the fuck is this waveform? Seriously, like, did nobody tell Yari that pushing everything into the reds and then slamming a limiter onto the master is not mixing? Oh god. So yeah, these are the original drums, and they're a bit shit. Now obviously those are way quieter because I have a lot of work being done to not have them be so, stupidly loud. So those are really quiet, I'm sure. I can't take a bad recording and make it sound good. If you want your mix to be good, you gotta record it properly, and this, like, whether this was recorded properly or it was sample replaced properly, because it all sounds sample replaced, I'm gonna be real with you, this sounds like a drum machine. Yeah. I don't think this was sampled properly. I don't think this was recorded properly. And obviously, once you get to the mixing phase, you can't fix a bad recording. You can make it sound less bad, but you can't make it sound good. There's a difference between those two. And if you want it to sound good, get it right at the source. There's a certain level of correction you can do. But why? Why would you try and correct something in the mix which is never going to sound as good as just recording it properly in the first place? And that's what they should have done for this. I mean, come on. The fans were waiting like 15 years for Time 2 to come out. You could have waited another year and tracked your, learned to track your drums properly. But, here we are. Now, the thing that we now need to do for this, and I'll cut most of this out because it's not very interesting, is the automation. Now, why would we do this? The simple reason is because if we just have shit be louder, then your levels are fucked. Okay, so I know I've been kind of harsh on the mixing of this, and that is entirely directed at the mixing. I think this is a great song. I particularly love that little kind of Children of Bodom-esque kind of shreddy thing right before this little interlude. But yeah, my criticism is reserved for the mixing, because I think that is genuinely an issue here. The rest of this thing, compositionally, cool song. But, like, mix it properly, please. Probably not something you want to hear about an album you spent 15 years working on when the guy who's telling you it was barely learning how to talk when you released the previous thing, but, like, way more sense. Okay. Jeez, I went, like, on a whole spiel about how the automation of this takes a lot, because this is a very compositionally dense song. Like, there's so many things in the song to keep track of, so many instruments, musical layers, harmonies, and it's just, a master composition, but man, is it a master pain in the ass to try and mix. Because there's a lot of automation that needs doing to make everything sit properly. And, this, I really don't envy whoever had to mix this from, like, the whatever fucking 200 tracks it started with. To be completely honest, I probably would have just, like, collapsed everything into sub-mixes and had, like, everything sitting the way I wanted it to in, like, massive buses, and then just mix the buses. But, yeah. Pretty fun to mix, honestly. Now let's, let's give it a listen.